weird, sexy, toxic bullshit.
They have like such a immature relationship.
Yes.
Like immature and also insanely toxic relationship because they don't
like early 20s. We have not dealt with any of our trauma, and we are in the drama. We are in it for the drama.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Our Flag Means Fanfiction. I am Ringa Sun, and I am here again despite everyone's pleas for me to just disappear. And today I also have with me Tessa, our sexy ghost, is back again from Canada, where it's not quite as on fire, only a little bit.
Listen, we've had smoke advisories for the past 3 days, so we're pretty on fire.
But that's like your country setting itself on fire, not your citizens setting your country on fire.
No, that's true.
And we also have Charley from England, who I think your country's probably not really on fire at all, right?
I get the impression that it's pretty on fire.
Is it?
It's not great right now.
It's not great, but is it actually on fire?
Physically or metaphorically?
I mean, see, our countries are both literally on fire.
I think it is politically, but
I mean, no one's doing great politically right now.
Else, but it's not terrible. So
that's good. That's not terrible. Terrible is one good thing. We're we're recording this, if anyone is aware, the day after all of the ICE protests and stuff that happened in Los Angeles. So the country is literally on the way to exploding right now, which it's just been a slow popping up of fire. We were just talking about slow burn with EdIzzy, and now it's slow burn of the country. So
is it really slow though? I don't think that one's. What
do we call it instead? Steady burn?
It's fast burn.
It's a lingering burn.
Is there? Because I know there are flash floods. Is there a flash fire where everything just bursts into flames and it's just
that's
a massive.
It's not like it's burst into flames. It's just been on fire for ever and is just continuing to burn somehow.
We start the fire.
We did though. We did.
We did.
Everywhere. Anything that's ever wrong is probably our fault. So if you're listening to this from not the US, good for you. And if you're listening to this from the US, take a fire extinguisher with you. Anyhow, this is not meant to be a political episode, but everything is politics. And if you exist in this world, you're part of the politics. So happy Pride Month. We're here to talk about Ed and Izzy, who are two very confused and on fire and
their daddies.
Very gay also. But before we get too into that, what's the most gay pirate thing that's happened to you recently, Tessa?
So I recently moved from the depressing garbage city where I've been stuck for the past 8 months back to my own proper city, which is great and which is already much better. However, so I found a place very quickly, and then I managed to get it much earlier than I expected. So I had a place for June 1st, and I was like, okay, now I have to get the fuck out of here. And the thing is, so I've been having various health garbage for the past couple of years, but I haven't really adjusted to that. So I kind of figured, I was like, okay, but I can push through for a few days and get all this done and pack all my shit and move myself to an actual city. I could do that. And very luckily, one of my very dear friends offered to fly from Prince Edward Island to help me get everything packed up. So he arrived on the Friday and we were moving on the Sunday. And we were like, okay, we can do this. And the thing is, as we were trying to get ready, I was progressively having more physical pain throughout my entire body to the point where we managed to get all of my biggest furniture into the truck. And then we had gone inside and my friend looked at me and he was like, maybe you should go lie down.
I mean, that's a great friend. He saved your life.
He did. And then he came in about an hour later and he looked at me and I was like, do I have a fever? And he was like, you look like you have a fever, which is how I spent pretty much the rest of the move, shivering in my bed while my very sweet friend shoved things into boxes and packed them into the trunk for me.
That was like a champ. He like truly came in and just
shit.
And then who was the other friend that like came and unpacked stuff and moved shit around for you?
Emily.
You have like great friends. You have amazing friends that have really helped you get where you needed to go.
Yes. No, they've been saving my life over and over again. And Emily is coming over again later today because I'm bleeding a disturbing amount. And so she's going to watch me this evening.
Oh, what else is new? Bleeding a disturbing amount. Like, as if
now I have people who will come and watch me while I bleed. And
that is very helpful. I'm glad that people will come and watch you and you won't just die.
Yes. Last night, my friend George just like held me while we watched a movie. And that was great.
So sweet.
Yes.
Well, you were happy when you moved to Kingston originally.
Yes.
And,
but now I'm actually home.
But the thing is, like, you didn't have to stay there all that long. So that's great.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're somewhere better now. And it seemed like it worked out really like amazingly well for how you found a place, and the place seems amazing, and you've got a fucking balcony and
2 balconies.
2 balconies. That's overkill. My God. Well, Charley, what's the most gay pirate thing that's happened to you recently?
I've got 2 things on different scales of each other. The first, happy Pride Month, by the way. The first is related to that. Sort of known for a long time. It's quite personal to me, but I've always identified as bisexual, and I realized I'm not. I'm actually pansexual.
Woo!
So yeah, that's my gay pirate thing in that regards, and very nice. Very nice.
You can't see the whole thing. It's backwards, but
I can still read it.
My shirt that I'm wearing right now says pansexual pirate. I like all kinds of booty.
Amazing.
So very appropriate.
Very apt. And I told my partner, and his response was, you can identify as anything you like or choose, and I'll support you and love you all the same. So that was very cute. And the other thing was, I opened the fridge this morning and he had put a bowl of spring onions in the fridge, all chopped up really finely, but balanced on a load of other things. So we all fell out on the floor and pissed me off and went everywhere. It was like thousands of like spring onion bits all on the floor. So
no. Well, I was just about to be like, Jasper's the best, but maybe Jasper's not the best.
He's sweet, but he puts things in the fridge and on stacked levels and stuff. And it's always me that opens the fridge when he's not here, and they just fall all over the floor. And then I'm left with the aftermath. And they've got like a cat trying to eat spring onions, and I'm just pissed off. And
that's like himbo energy, kind of. Like, I'll just stack
some bit.
Let me just stack this bowl of spring onions so that it's leaning against the door of the fridge.
Yeah, it won't be my fallout. It will be Charley's. She'll deal with it.
Well, congratulations on discovering your truest self, and congratulations on not having any spring onions to eat for dinner, I guess. Well, the most gay pirate thing that's happened to me recently was that last weekend I did this online event with this guy. You guys might have heard of him. He's kind of like this, I don't know, kind of like lesser known like character actor. His name's Con O'Neill. Yeah, right? Like, I know.
He's just a guy.
He's just some dude, yeah.
Never heard of him.
He's just just this random guy with like really great tits.
We love that.
Right. So like you might know him if you saw him because of his tits.
I never forget a good pair of tits.
Right, exactly. So Con had his 3rd momentous event last weekend, and it happened very, very quickly. Like so we're recording on a Monday. 2 days ago on Saturday was the June Gay Pirate News Hour. And as of the May Gay Pirate News Hour, it hadn't been announced. And so it was, and then it happened within that month. So it was all very crazy. But I think he announced it like a couple days after the May Gay Pirate News Hour. And I knew it was happening, but I couldn't talk about it. And so I'm like, oh man, I think I said like, if you get like Con O'Neill, something's happening soon. Like,
and instantly everybody said he was pregnant.
Oh yeah, right. That's what happened. And I was like,
you can see it in his tits.
You can see it in his did.
Bits
So
have grown.
yeah, and that was very quick coming because it was like it wasn't as much of a like we didn't have to do a lot of work to like create the event. It was a Q&A, so it was mostly like people sending questions and then I asked them to him and he answered them. It was not like a whole production like his other two events kind of have been. And he was like, "This is the easiest one I've done. I didn't feel stressed out at all." And I'm like, "That's because you had me organizing everything." But I truly, I am a stage manager, and so he picked the best person, in my opinion, to organize this event for him because I went in and literally organized all the questions by things he's answered before, so we didn't have to cover, and stuff we should get to and stuff we could maybe not get to and stuff that we didn't, etc. Put them into categories and whatnot. And then Charley was like, "It should be no longer than 45 minutes," and Con was like, "It should be an hour long," and I was like, "Cool. Well, I'm just gonna keep an eye on time and see what we can do." And it turned out to be 50 minutes long, so I did great. I landed it right in the middle there. And if you didn't watch it, you should. It's on Momentous's YouTube page already. They also put back up the EdIzzy Bears All event from February. It is extremely censored though. So if you want to watch that one, I would suggest going to find the link of the pirated version that is on someone's Google Drive. I have a copy of it too, so you can message me if you need it. Watch that one with all the swearing and the fucking. I'm still extremely proud that, and Tessa, you should
Bears
be too.
All uncensored, uncut.
Well, the EdIzzy Bears All is uncensored. It's the EdIzzy Into Me one.
Oh, right.
That was right.
Yeah.
You and I should be so proud that some smut that we, wrote got YouTube to say, "Oh, hell no." I love that for us. But this one was just, just a Q&A, just kind of simple. And it ended with him reading some thirst tweets, which is something I've been trying to get him to do for a while. And he was like, "Let's do that on the It was great." Yeah, you just watched this event, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
What did you think?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, like, it's easy. He's so charming and so generous with his time. And the two of you have such a great rapport. I really enjoyed, especially the thirst tweets.
They're fun.
Yeah.
I left out some of the craziest thing. Like I didn't make, this fandom's like sick, positive. But I left out some of the craziest things. I tried to keep it cute and funny, but Daddy Milkers is I think
that is solid.
It was a good one.
Yes.
I was like, my goal with this is to get Con to blush, and he did. And so I was like, success. Daddy Milkers. Yeah.
I love how much fun he has with it.
Yes, he does. He loves it. He loves being told that, like cheese, someone wants them to rearrange their insides. Anyhow, go watch this event if you haven't yet. But speaking of the event, this episode is a sequel to an EdIzzy episode that we did back in October, where it was me, Tessa, and Krill. And so I've replaced Krill with another thirsty British consimp with Krill.
We're easily replaceable.
With Krill's blessing. And so we covered the first season as far as EdIzzy content goes. And we were meaning to do a second one, and we just, life and holidays and whatnot. So never got around to it. But at Con's event last week, he covered a lot of EdIzzy stuff, and people asked a lot of EdIzzy questions. So I was like, well, now that this is fresh, let's do the second EdIzzy thing. Let's cover season 2 and talk a little bit about EdIzzy fanfiction. But before we get into that, let's go through some things that Con said at his event. And I'm looking through the questions here that I asked him. Let's see. Okay, so not relating to EdIzzy, but the one question, what was your reaction to being told you had to wear those little black pants in the tow scene? If you watched the Gay Pirate News Hour, Carly was like, "What little black pants?" And did not clock at all that Izzy was in these slutty little black panties in the show. And that's an asexual for you. I don't even know. I mean, pride is for everyone, but damn, Carly. So he
little black panties.
They are, and his answer to that was, that's just like the underwear that he had on as Izzy underneath his clothes the whole time. So like he was told very shortly before they filmed that they were going to have him just in those, and that was just what he had on underneath, and that's just what happened. And I'm like, damn, so you were wearing those the whole time?
Izzy buys them in 10 packs.
And he should, because they look great on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He knows what works. He knows what works.
We also got Con telling us finally that the character he auditioned for when he auditioned for the show was Buttons.
Yes.
Oh, just so cute.
That would have been such a different vibe. That would have been
And Belle was like, we could have had Con bask in Moonglow. And the whole time, like, because I didn't know this beforehand, but he's never really said, but has made kind of hints, but not really. I was absolutely certain that the character he auditioned for was Big John, because Wee John was originally two characters who were brothers, Big John and Wee John, and Wee John was a big guy and Big John was a wee guy. And I was like, so that's totally what he auditioned for, right? Because he can do the Irish accent, and that's like one of the accents Con can do, and he's wee. And totally thought that was it, but Buttons totally surprised me. I think he would have been great as Buttons, but I mean, y'all know what I think about David Jenkins currently, but he has made some solid choices, and putting Con as Izzy was like probably the best one. So
Ewan Bremner's Buttons is really just,
it's so good. I thought you were gonna say Ewan Bremner's butt, and I mean that too.
I mean, also great. Just transcendently weird.
Yes, I love him. I honestly can't imagine like any of these characters being played by other people, really. Like it would have been fine. I'm sure it would have been great, but like could we have it's perfect the way it was. So that was insane lore to hear. Let's see. What's Izzy's idea of a perfect date? And to which he responded, steak and a fuck. Medium rare. Both
medium rare. Yeah. He was like,
I respect
medium
the
rare.
simplicity. I respect the simplicity. Also, is the steak medium rare or is the fuck medium rare?
Both of them.
He said both.
He literally said both of them. Yes.
But he doesn't eat steak, so
Con doesn't, but Izzy does. Izzy had in episode 9 of the first season, he has a steak.
Oh yeah, that unsalted. Yeah.
Yep. The unsalted steak, right? Which was actually tofu that Con was eating.
God, that sounds gross.
I feel like it was probably gross because it was like set food, and no set food is like good.
Yeah,
like
I think it was just very much like,
and
it's done for the look of the thing and not for the taste.
But also, every time you have like set food, you are constantly having to be eating it and spitting it out and eating it, and, like while you're doing takes. However, I feel like Con can never again complain about any kind of set food after the toe. Which I'm sure that you both know, but just in case anyone is listening that does not know, the toe was made of, and this just like still blows my mind, because the person who did the toe is the person who did all the like food props for the show Hannibal, which was like fantastic. And the toe looked great, but like I don't know what she was thinking with this flavor combination. So the toe is made of carrot cake, and then had raspberry sauce for the blood, which those two on their own is like, okay, but whatever. And then the skin of the toe is made with fondant, which first of all is the most disgusting thing in the world. But second of all, it was mint flavored fondant, and his favorite. She's right. I think it's not his favorite because of this fucking toe. But like she had said in some interview, like I thought mint would make a nice like cool refreshing flavor, since you're having to eat it a whole bunch, like it wouldn't be gross. And I'm like, okay, that's a great thought just like on its own, but mint plus raspberry plus carrot cake, no.
Carrot cake is so strong as well. He told us that at Airport Con, and I was just like, that just sounds disgusting.
It's three very aggressive flavors that do not particularly mix. Like, why would you not do like a cream cheese fondant sort of situation?
I don't think that cream cheese fondant is a thing,
because it should be.
I could see maybe a cream cheese like frosting of some kind, but fondant is made a very specific way to be the most disgusting thing in the world. I really hate I'm a cake decorator. I hate fondant. So my bias is coming out against fondant.
I feel like fondant is like fondant is the look, not the taste.
Absolutely.
It's like an almond paste, isn't it?
No, it's usually it's made with marshmallow, but also like there's a various different ways to do it.
Maybe
but yes, it is made
fondant.
Perhaps. I think he wouldn't like that either because he doesn't like marzipan. But he's very particular for someone who loves cake. So
hey, if you like something, you should be particular about that thing.
I guess so.
No nuts in food.
I guess I'm particular about cake as well.
I love nuts in food. I love.
There was
nuts.
probably nuts in that carrot cake.
Yeah, it's like, I don't
have nuts in it. So.
I don't like nuts in my food. I was like, you're wrong. You are wrong.
That's not what I heard.
Yeah.
That was another fun part about the Q&A event was we had a lot of like, that's what she said moments, which is just, it's so fun. I love innuendo with Con O'Neill. So yeah, Izzy's perfect date is this steak and a fuck, which is so in character, I think. Izzy's just like, let's do it. I have to get back to work. If Izzy had survived but see Ned were still off the ship, who do you think he would have hooked up with and why? And he said Jim, which was lovely. Especially after the Jim Izzy scene we got from Izzy into Me with Vico and Con, which is lovely. And I am not biased at all, but
no, also to me, like he has good taste because asked who I would hook up with on that crew, the answer is also Jim.
If Izzy is not like Izzy's number one, right? But if I have to pick someone besides Izzy, then yes, Jim. But if Izzy got to wear a fancy outfit, what would he wear? And he was like, it would be black. It would be black. Period. I'm like, but one does want a hint of color. He's like, no.
You said like dark green, emerald, and he was like, no, black. It's got to be black.
I was gonna say, he was like, no, Izzy's color spectrum is like from dark black to blackest black.
Oh, Steve would dress him up and he's like, Steve can do whatever he wants. I'm like, okay, next question. So would Izzy have chosen to be Captain Frenchie's first mate? The answer was no. And then how long would it take before he called Steve Captain? And he was like, never. I'm like, wow, you are like shutting shit down out here. Yeah.
Shitting on everything. He's shitting on everything. That's what he's doing. He's being a demon. He's doing it on purpose.
At which point in the interview, I tried really hard to make a pitch for Stizzy.
You were very trying.
I did, but you know what? I still can convince him. I can make it time. There's time.
We can just peer pressure him.
I'm just like, man, I think you need to see it from my perspective and not think about it from Izzy's perspective, because he has said Izzy wants to be romanced and Izzy likes softer things, but he thinks he can have them and stuff like that. And he's not getting enough from Ed. All right.
I feel like, okay, here's what I feel like. I feel like if Steed got significantly more competent, then there would be
which is where we're heading there. So okay, so here's where we started asking questions about Izzy and Ed, right? What made Izzy realize that Blackbeard had gone too far? And he said his cruelty to the crew, which, yes, obviously. And he mentioned that Izzy carries a whip, but he doesn't use it on them. And I'm like, oh, and I think at this point, this is just like 1 week ago, and I'm already forgetting like everything that happened. But I believe at this point I brought up Calico Jack.
You did?
No, I think that was the whip car part.
Yeah, either way, the scars. Yeah,
I brought up Calico Jack at some point, and he seemed to not have ever considered that people ship Izzy and Calico Jack.
But then he got it.
I think I read it. I think I read his response slightly differently, because he does share all the art. So he's seen the art.
Right.
I think what he was saying was not that he was completely unaware of them as a ship, but that he had never like really thought about how it would work.
Right. That's it. It's not that he was unaware, because yes, he does share all the art, but I think he'd never really given it too much thought, simply because the characters in the canon of the show have never interacted with each other. But yeah, then as soon as it got brought up at this event, he was like, here we go. Where's Dizzy now?
One of us.
I knew that would make you guys all happy. I was like, here we go. It's not my ship, but I know it's a big one. So
the greatest of all time.
Yes. Let's see. He talked about, was Izzy really considering leaving the ship, or was that just a game that he and Blackbeard played? And he said that he thinks Izzy has left and come back before. And yeah, it's kind of like a game to them. And I think that's what a lot of people feel with that. It's like, fine, I'm just gonna leave then. It's like,
it's a relationship trope, isn't it? It's like, it's like as an empty threat, like, oh, this is the last time I'm gonna leave and then come back. So it's like a
weird, sexy, toxic bullshit.
They have like such a immature relationship.
Yes.
Like immature and also insanely toxic relationship, because they don't,
like, early 20s. We have not dealt with any of our trauma, and we are in the drama. We are in it for the drama. And this is what we do. And we have the dramatic breakup, and then we fuck about it, and then the cycle repeats.
We do it all over again tomorrow. This question: when playing Izzy and making the character's inner workings make sense to you, did you picture Izzy's long relationship with Edward always having stayed strictly platonic? Or did you think they might have had some sort of a past in their youth, like drunken fooling around, or some sort of hard-to-define intimacy which contributed to the complicated feelings you so fantastically portray in the show? Which is a beautifully worded question, and as I'm reading it, Con's just grinning. As soon as I stop talking, he says, they fucked like rabbits. And
they did.
I can't believe the internet didn't just close at that moment, because the chat in the event sure lit up, which is, like, it's not too surprising to hear, and it's not surprising at all to think he thinks that, but it has kind of been. We covered this in the first episode of EdIzzy, where I don't know, it's possible that maybe they have never had sex, and that's part of why their relationship is so weird, and because there's this like sexual tension, and Edward's like a tease and is like, knows that Izzy's like in love with him, and acts like he's, they're gonna do something, but then takes it away and that kind of thing. But I love hearing from Con, they fucked like rabbits. They just were always at it. And I'm like, good for them. Like,
I think my read is like, yes, Ed was withholding, but I think Ed was withholding on an emotional level, not on a physical level.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's like Calico Jack says, anything goes at sea. Now, traditionally, that is very piratey, is like, and then we fucked because we're bored, and that's just what happens. And
relatable kings.
Yeah, there was fucking, but no loving.
And like you're stuck with all these guys forever, and you're all horny, and you just like, I'm certain that when they had these like raids and battles and stuff, there was a lot of
post-battle fucking. But again, I feel like
we were very excited, and now we gotta go have orgies about it, like. But
I feel like it is very much a thing where, like, I do think that there were feelings on both sides of that equation.
Agreed.
And I think that both of them, and possibly Ed especially, were just not emotionally mature enough to express that in like the way that they needed to, in order to get beyond that sort of like immature sort of like, oh no, we're just fucking sort of pretense.
And I do think that there's a lot of like, none of these guys are mentally well. So
again,
we have a lot of, I think from Izzy's side, we have a lot of like, this is my captain and I'm like serving him this way, which, but doesn't mentally always translate to, but I have feelings for him, and
Izzy is not in like connected to his feelings. It's
And then as far as Ed goes, it can be very much a power trip of he sees the devotion that Izzy has for him, and it's hot to him, and he's going to take advantage of it. But then it's like options and things, and we're just going to pretend that they don't exist. And that is the thing he does until Steed comes along, and Steed's like, let's talk it through as a crew. And,
it's therapy.
And everyone's like, the fuck? So they've got a lot going on. And then, this question I wanted to make sure we included that said, David Jenkins said that Izzy was a father figure to Blackbeard in season is that how Izzy saw the relationship. And I made sure to point out that David Jenkins has also said that Izzy was like a jilted wife to Edward or to Izzy and
Ed.
One of them. And other things, like he's not just and Con, like, yes, he was all these things. Their relationship was complex and complicated. He could be a father figure to Blackbeard and a jilted wife and, you know, a first mate and a devoted
angry boyfriend, jilted boyfriend.
Yes. Yeah. I think he's a father figure in like the George Michael sense, if you know what I mean.
I definitely know what you mean.
Yeah. So
ooh, daddy.
Ooh, daddy. Like, you can't say he's a father figure and after the ooh daddy thing has happened and be like, oh yeah, that's platonic. Okay. I think part of that was David Jenkins seeing how much people loved Izzy and shipping him with Steed and Ed and whatever, and kind of trying to reel it back in. No, wait. Oh, wait, Con O'Neill has chemistry with everyone. Oh God. Now I've got to bring back the main two and make them the focus again. Wait, Izzy's not a wife. He's a father figure. Like, good luck. Didn't work. He can still be fucking all of them. So, anyone else have a thing from the con event that they feel is important to our flag needs at lore? Since I'm sure I'm forgetting things, but I think we covered
that stupid question, didn't I? So,
I mean, I think.
Well, what one? Wait, what?
When I sent in a question and it was Ed and Izzy's sex song.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yeah, and
the
he
George
just said
Michael album.
The George Michael album. I was like, the song or the album? He's like, the whole album, which has got father figure on it. So here we go.
Yes. No, I thought about that
interlacing.
Too. I absolutely thought about that when he said that. And I know he's said that before, like when he was on Twitter still, that was like his fuck album. So I love that. But yes, that is a good album. And father figure. Interesting choice.
I was interested in his take on the back scars, which also I think like I like his read of it because it's more angst, and I love working with the angst, and also I can sexualize all of that angst, and so thank you for that.
I'm sure he's happy to having everyone sexualizing everything he does.
He seems to be.
He does. He really does. He seem to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So in the first episode, we covered all of season 1. And then, so we recorded this like almost a year after season 2 had come out. So we were aware of what all the things happened in season 2, which definitely changed a lot of expectations and canons and whatnots from what we were left with at the end of season 1. But we didn't really get into all that in the last episode. So as we did the last time, let's go episode by episode. And there's 2 less this time to cover what goes on with Ed and Izzy in the second season. So the first episode starts with everything's fucking crazy.
For real.
Ed is a peak level toxic and is having his emo breakup period.
Borderline personality queen.
He's not doing well, I guess. We could just say. And so we see them raiding a wedding and killing people, and everyone's wearing emo black eyeliner, and they all have sexy new Kraken outfits. And
Jim's hair,
honestly, Jim and Frenchie, like the outfit, it's really good. And like
Frenchie's fucking Hendrix jacket. Jesus Christ.
It was really good to see, honestly, like going from season 1 into season 2, not really knowing what has happened to this crew in Crazy Ed times. They're not doing great, but they're not doing terribly, except for Ivan, who has died.
I remain justice for Ivan.
Honestly, there's clearly something went on there that we are all still not aware of. But aside from Ivan, at least they're all still alive, and they do seem to be thriving in doing these raids and stuff. it's clearly not like they all want to be doing quite as many raids and to break this record and whatnot, but they all seem to be having a good time doing the piratey shit. So the people who are on the Kraken crew still are the people, they saved the people who they felt are competent and can fight and can, so I think if like...
But they do also all seem pretty traumatized by it.
Right, exactly. But like, imagine if like Pete and Olu, were like on this Kraken crew and like...
Oh, they would be dead. They would be dead.
Right. And they'd be also just like, oh my God, there's so much blood and whatnot. So they, picked the people who were like, and were real pirates and were like going to do real pirate shit. And like, this is the life. And Frenchie...
Well, again, the Frenchie choice is an interesting one there. Yeah.
But Frenchie has this nice little mind box and he puts all the things in the mind box and it's great. It's great. We should all do that. And he's the one in season 1, right? That's like bottle it up, right? So yeah, so we're doing really good. Everyone's having great fighting. And then Izzy's like, so Ed, everyone's kind of not happy. And Ed's like, did they get cake? And that's where cake solves everything. Ed's also doing drugs. And we find out that he has taken more of Izzy's toes. We don't find out if he has made Izzy eat them.
Yeah.
What are the thoughts on that?
I mean, I remember it's really fucked up for something that is a comedy.
Well, season 2 is like, it was like a dark comedy at best. She got fucked up in season 2. But yeah, I mean, I do like the choice to not show, because it was extremely effective showing him eat the toe in the first season. It's good that we didn't have that again. Yeah. Because we want to show that Ed's like really bad off, but we want him to eventually come back from that. So he's like, take off your boot. That's another toe, and then, and they do say like, the scene where Izzy is like crying and they're like, what, he's taken like 3 more of your toes, and it's just like, Jesus Christ. And he's just let him, because that's just Izzy, and I'm sure he thinks he deserves that. But like, it got to such a bad place, it's really bad if Izzy's just like openly crying in front of the crew, and then lets them hug him. I mean, it was under duress at first, but that was such a... Remember when they released that scene before the episode came out and everyone was like, oh my God, like that was some fucking acting there.
Yeah. No, so, Con really gives it, especially in the first 3 episodes.
Oh yeah. I think the 4th episode is my favorite acting of his in the whole series, but we'll get to that in a minute. So we have Izzy crying, we have Izzy losing more toes, and then Izzy kind of confronts Edward and is like, what's going on, buddy? And also, I have love for you, Edward.
Little guy.
I have love for you, which he says as if he has a disease or something. These boys,
old guy.
They need some couples therapy.
Yes.
They need lots of couples therapy.
They do.
They need lots. And Ed just goes, what?
Yeah. He's like, oh, come on, man. Like, and you know that he knows this. This is not news to him. He just doesn't want to talk about it. And then Izzy says Steed's name, or he doesn't say Steed's name. He says talk it through as a crew. And so this
he doesn't even say talk it through as a crew though. He just talk it through. Yeah.
And then he's like, oh fuck, oh no. Yeah. So that leads Edward to go up onto the deck and be the craziest he is in the whole show, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, there's the ship.
Right, you're right. In the very next episode.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this one is in a way more unsettling because there's no storm. The only danger is him.
It's a deeply, deeply unsettling scene.
Just him with his gun, and he's like pointing it at people, asking them if they think the atmosphere is toxic. Yeah.
And of course they're going to answer to please him because they don't want to get shot. So it's like, why are you doing it? Just just to assert your authority.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Izzy speaks up about like he this whole episode is Izzy like struggling with everything he's ever known, because like he's been programmed to please his captain and go along with whatever he wants, and also it's not just his captain, it's Edward, and he has now privately tried to confront him about it, and now he's doing it in front of the crew, and the whole crew's like, don't do this, Izzy. And then Ed shoots him, and that's kind of like where the episode ends, and we're like, wow, and I think the first 3 episodes came out at once, so luckily we didn't have to wait to see what happened next. But like Ed's not here anymore.
Yes.
This is for sure the Kraken, and we get into episode 2 where Ed has spent the night crying and detoxing and playing with his little dolls, and he's like,
very healthy,
right?
Yes,
But then he's like, everything's great now. I've got my first mate Frenchie, and I don't have any more drugs, and Izzy's gone, and we're super. And don't you feel super? Don't you think everything's great? And then, of course, we find out very quickly that Izzy is not dead. Frenchie did not kill Izzy, and he's just suffering, and they have to cut his leg off. And Ed's then kind of walking around creepily, popping up in places where Frenchie's at, and just like, hey, buddy, what you doing? Like, scaring the shit out of him. Ed clearly knows that Izzy is not dead. But he also probably heard him screaming, because I can't imagine
having his leg cut off.
Yeah. Even before the leg was being cut off, he was screaming, and they have him in a secret like room, but it's still just a ship.
The ship is not that sound. Like, I can't imagine it's like a soundproof booth in the middle of the ship.
Right. So, we're screaming. Ed knows Izzy's not dead, so he has Frenchie bring him to him, and then they have a nice little heart-to-heart that starts with, I had a dream that you shot me.
The acting in this scene.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, they're both like amazing actors.
Yeah.
Taika can do so much with his face. And I mean, Khan can too, but like, I don't know, something about Taika's eyes, he really like can tell whole stories without saying words. And Khan, who is literally laying still in this bed and can't go anywhere and can't do much and is wet and cold and just like laying there dying, he gives an amazing performance where he's like Izzy's like losing it too here. He's like, all right, well, I don't even know now. Ed just shot me, and now we're talking about I killed him, and he's giving me a gun, and just everything's nuts. And he starts laughing, and it's extremely unsettling. Ed gives Izzy the gun. He's like, goes and turns his back to him and anticipates Izzy shooting him. And Izzy's like, I'm not going to do it. You do it yourself. I've been cleaning up your mess our whole fucking lives.
Yeah.
There's a lot to take in this scene, especially for their...
It's a rich text.
For their like background together when he says, I've been cleaning up after you my whole fucking life,
Yes.
I think when Ed shot Izzy really just like completely, like it broke him, but like in a weird way, because he's still clearly in love with Ed, and you see that throughout the rest of the season. But I don't know. It's like it's taken this.
I think Izzy in this scene is a man who has no fucks left to give.
Yeah.
He has given his last fuck. He has flung it into the ocean, and I think he's expecting to die, obviously. But yeah, and he can't anymore. They've been doing this for so long. He's tired, he's hurt, and he's not playing any kind of game anymore.
Yeah.
I always thought there was a bit of a connection when he says, "Oh, Eddie, you're too scared to do it yourself."
Oh yeah.
And then he
So
shoots
good.
himself, but then Izzy shoots himself, and I always saw a connection with that. It's like that sort of like, oh, you can't do it. Well, I'm going to do it, and it's
So this is the thing too, because like, which is also there's something really tragic in that as well, because as he says that he's been cleaning up his mess his whole life, and he's not going to do it anymore, and then he still tries to clean up his mess. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Is it cleaning up his mess? Or, I mean, I think obviously what I got from that was, I'm not cleaning up your mess being, I'm not killing you.
Yeah.
You're going to have to kill yourself. You're going to have to do it yourself. I'm not doing it. I'm not giving you an easy way out. you're going to have to put in an effort.
I think there are a lot of readings, and I think it's a very complex act.
Now, do we think, had Izzy known that Ed's next step would be to then kill the whole fucking crew, do we think Izzy might have just shot him?
Well, I mean, he does shoot him.
I mean,
yeah.
Right. But like in that moment when they're in the thing, if Ed's like, all right, fine, then I'll go kill the entire ship. Because
would Izzy have believed him?
Who knows? It's like we can never know, because like
I think
obviously he's gone beyond like protecting his captain, and he is now like, I'm protecting the crew.
Here's what I think. So I think that even with that in mind, I think it would be very difficult for Izzy to hurt Ed outside of it being that sort of catastrophic emergency. Yeah.
Right. I agree. I mean, I think part of it was like, I'm not, fuck you, I'm not doing your work for you anymore. But also like, I can't kill you, I love you, which Ed was too far gone to have any of those feelings. But Izzy is just getting there. Yeah. So Izzy, we hear the gunshot. Ed says, I loved you the best I could, which is bullshit.
Yes. Seriously.
Absolute bullshit.
What the fuck, man? What the fuck? Yes.
Like, does he really believe that? Like, are you just saying that because you want to believe it?
Probably.
I feel like Ed tells himself a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
narcissistic behavior.
These episodes were really good for like angsty fucking shit with these two.
Yeah.
They were like, they had a lot of like, holy fuck, moments. So of course then we all think Izzy's dead, or rather it's implied that Izzy's dead. I don't think anyone actually thought that. And then, Ed steers the ship into a storm and removes the wheel and is just like, let's all fight to the death and everything's crazy and all love dies and blah, blah, blah. And then
Izzy's so hot about it. Fuck.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Very sexy. So sexy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
anyway, sorry.
Taika should have gotten an award for this episode, honestly, because he just is like insane. And so Izzy then, I guess, wakes up and hears what's going on, feels the ship going nuts, and drags himself with his one leg up to the deck and shoots Ed. Ed doesn't seem that upset about it. He says, you indestructible little fucker. And then he kind of like lays there and giggles while he's bleeding, and they hit him in the head with a cannonball.
I just want to say, do we think that Izzy was waiting somewhere out of sight because he was really wet, to say that somebody had just kind of like crawled out? I think that he was like waiting on the deck.
I think in the context of a storm like that at sea, you step outside and you are that wet.
Yeah, that's what I got from it. But also, I think that it's but also he had to crawl his way up these stairs onto the deck. Yeah. And that was not a quick thing to do.
Yes.
So personally, I don't think he was like waiting off camera somewhere, but I think it took him a while to get up to the deck.
Yeah.
And during that time,
he probably started dragging himself when he heard shit kicking off.
Yeah. And then that whole time while he was crawling up onto the deck, he was being just like pelted with rain and seawater and everything else, So, So that's, so now Ed's dead, but he's not. And then we have the whole third episode where everything's weird. The other revenge crew comes and finds them. They're eating a heron, a raw heron.
Oh, is it a heron or is it a kind of a gull?
I thought it was a gull.
No, it's some kind of gull. It's definitely not a heron. As a person with a heron tattoo.
Oh, somebody said
not long enough legs.
Somebody said it was a heron at some point online, and I sure don't know anything about birds. But
beak shape, it's definitely some kind of gull.
I know that it was not like a normal type of seagull, because that was confirmed by Alex Sherman. But whatever it was, it's a raw bird they're eating, and that's when Steed walks in on them, and Izzy's looking a little bit of a mess. He's using a table leg as a wooden leg, and he's drinking a lot. He is not partaking in eating the bird. He's just drinking, and then they get soup from the ship of soup, and Izzy does not eat the soup either. Izzy is not taking comforts. He's only taking alcohol because he also thinks Ed is dead. And despite, I know that somewhere in him, he knows he did the right thing to shoot Ed and, save the crew. He is, I'm sure, feeling massive guilt about this, because not only did he kill his captain, but he killed his Ed. So, Steed is making a priority of pulling knives out of walls to clean up his cabin. And Izzy confronts him about, we both fucked Edward over and now we got to take care of the crew, etc., etc. They find Ed's body. They drag the people who mutinied over to the Red Flag, and Steed.
And then Izzy takes blame for Ed as well, like with the knives. Like,
yeah,
he's still taking responsibility for Ed. Though he's just said, "Clean up your own mess." He's still doing it. It's just like an automatic response, isn't it? He's just doesn't know how. It is, to.
And it's because he has such a toxic love with him that. He's very much, I think, mixing up his duties as first mate to his captain with his romantic feelings towards Ed as a person. So, by the end of this episode, they have broken them all free of the Red Flag and they get across, and Steed's mad at Izzy, and Steed goes down and he's talking to Ed, and we have the whole mermaid scene, and Ed wakes up. Okay. Did I miss anything in the third episode about Ed and Izzy? I don't think so, because Ed's dead the whole time. And he's in the gravy basket, which I don't think he mentions Izzy in the gravy basket. He talks about Calico Jack briefly, but it's mostly his stuff with Hornigold. Now, Hornigold never mentions Izzy, which is interesting because I know a lot of people had canon that Izzy was on Hornigold's ship with Jack and Ed. And it would make sense being that, Izzy's been cleaning up for him his whole fucking life, and Izzy taught Ed everything he knows, and it seems like they've been together for a very long time. That's not to say he wasn't on Hornigold's ship. That's just that he doesn't get mentioned here. So when we get into the fourth episode, Ed's awake. Everyone's mad at him. They vote to kick him off the ship. Izzy is talking to the unicorn. They're all doing great. Izzy's very drunk. He's screaming at this wooden unicorn. And they kick Ed off the ship. And then the rest of the episode is Ed and Steed off playing games with Bonnie and Reed, and Izzy is slowly descending into madness. He probably feels like he's betrayed his captain, he's betrayed Ed, and then now he's lost his leg and is completely useless as a pirate. And we've got that great scene where he somehow cuts the unicorn's legs off all on his own and drops them in front of the crew and is like, here you go, breaks his table leg and then crawls back to his room saying, you're born alone, you die alone. Yeah. And Lucius is like, yeah, he's definitely more messed up than all of us. I love this whole episode. Khan's acting is fantastic. He plays drunk really well, as we've seen in other things he's been in too. And he is just he doesn't know what to do with himself. He has that great scene where he's in his room looking in the mirror and says, "Who even are you?" And then they knock at his door and he's like, "Go away, you're harassing a cripple." And
he's having a crisis.
He's having a complete breakdown, which I feel like he's never let himself have before.
Yeah.
Anytime things have gotten bad, he's kind of just powered through it. But here we go. So he gets the unicorn leg. He's like, this is probably the nicest thing anyone's ever done for him in his entire life. And from here on, we have a new Izzy. So
I love that shot of him where he's at the top. Yeah, so beautiful.
It's so good. And I love when he opens the door and reads the little note and says, "Fucking cocksuckers." Yeah,
that's such a him backhanded compliment.
So now in episode 5 is the Stizzy episode. So
it is the Stizzy episode.
It really is. It's so good. It's kind of like if there was a filler episode in this very short season. I mean, I'm still glad that it was there because I love it. It's my favorite episode of the season, but it is very filler. Steed and Izzy are training together, and then Ed is off learning about himself with Fang. And there's not much that really progresses the story forward in this episode, I think, because we got the cursed jacket and the, all that. I think we see Ed distancing himself, or Izzy distancing himself from Ed a bit and kind of starting to move on without him, even though he's still there. They don't talk. In the next episode, it starts off with him drinking and Ed coming up to him and, taking his bottle and drinking it. And they have about a 2-sentence exchange, and then Ed says, "Sorry about your leg," and walks away.
I know you said bottle, but it really sounded
like
butthole.
It sounded like, but I thought that too, Tessa. But I just didn't say enough.
I mean,
taking his butthole.
Izzy is usually happy to share his butthole with Ed. So Ed gives like one of the worst apologies in the world because he's a man.
So shit, so bad.
It's so fucking
sorry about
bad.
Your leg. It's like,
Jesus Christ.
And then just walks away, to which Izzy replies, "Fuck off." Yeah. And then continues to drink. So even though Izzy has the new leg and he's accepted by the crew and he's said to Lucius not moving on is worse, and he's made up this like thing about the shark, which is again not too healthy, but okay. I don't agree that not moving on is worse, personally, but I think that you got to do what you got to do, and that's probably what he had to do. He was either like, I can keep going the way I've been going, or I have to find a way to move on, and so he did what he had to do for himself. But Izzy's, despite seeming like he's doing okay, he's still like kind of a mess. And Ed is like, everything's great, and I'm like with my boyfriend. But as we learn later in this episode, he's not great either, because Ed wants to take it slow. They end up having sex, and that like ruins everything for Ed. And then within a span of like one more episode, it's okay again. There was a lot. There's a lot going on in this season.
It's not enough time. It's just
it's not.
Yeah.
So, but in Calypso's birthday episode, we get Izzy like really blossoming into this like comfortable with my own skin kind of person. He's singing. He's loud. We trying to put makeup on him. He's dancing, and it's like, wow, look what happens when you let go of a toxic relationship. But he hasn't let go of it. In the next episode 7, which Man on Fire is the name of that one, I think. He starts out with Ed throws his leathers overboard. Izzy has been watching him from somewhere. Totally normal. And he finds Ed, and it's like, I threw away my leathers. It felt great, and etc. Let me not forget Izzy coming into the captain's cabin.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it.
Let me not forget that.
Yeah, but he's not bothered by that. It's not like he's jealous of that. It's just
he's not jealous of that. And then Ed says, "Oh, he's just jealous." But it's like, no,
I don't think he is.
He's not. Yeah. I don't know how they didn't hear him clopping along into the cabin on his horsey leg.
Before he felt on the hoof.
He's like, gotta do dramatics.
He's waiting there all night long.
Carry him. Yeah, the crew.
I need to bug that.
Yes, they're the whole night long.
Bang. Yeah, and Bang helped us down the stairs.
I love this. Oh my God. Oh, Izzy. Well, he tells Ed, like, maybe you should, just quit being a pirate, whatever. I mean, Izzy's kind of in his like, I don't give a fuck, do whatever you want, whatever. And I mean, he's giving like good advice to these guys, but because then he goes and finds Steed after they've like sort of broken up, and Steed's like all mopey and shit, and Izzy's like, I told him, he's a complicated man. And then he says, you know what he did when I told him I loved him?
Yeah, it's like, he shot you in the leg.
Shot you in the leg. Oh man, everything gets crazy for this ship in this season for Ed and Izzy, because they start out so aggressively bad, and then they go right off into like kind of nothing, but it's like there's like some attempt at letting go and moving on, but it's not a thing they can do. They just can't, you know? So Ed leaves, and then Ricky blows everything up. And then in the last episode, Izzy has a beautiful like scene with Ricky where he talks about the crew and everything. And we really do feel like from the beginning of the season, like Izzy's moving away from like his like really bad relationship with Ed into a like, I'm going to care more about the crew and what happens with them, and they're my family now. And so, we get that with his nice speech and everything. And Ed comes back, and Steed has a really bad idea for how they're going to get out of there. And everyone's like, yeah, let's do Steed's really bad idea, which is just, we have to devolve a little bit here talking about the last episode. Guys.
Yeah. Put the guy with one leg, behind
with the hostage. Who you didn't check for guns.
Yeah. You silly bastard.
It doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. There's literally like 20 other people that could have like had Ricky.
Yeah.
And
I still, what was the plan? None of them are none of them are passing but anyway.
I have no idea what the plan was except for them to dress up in fancy clothes. Because Ed's the one who makes the plans.
Montage,
but Ed's the genius who does the fuckery. And why didn't Ed come up with something for this? So they do this really bad plan. Izzy gets shot in a silly way. And then the very last scene of Izzy's is him and Ed is being extremely upset for somebody who has really not been very nice to this man.
Yeah.
You shot him, you idiot.
You shot him, tried to kill him, tried to get him to kill you, left him a gun to shoot himself again.
And then ignored him for the rest of the season.
Ignored him, abandoned him, gave him a bad apology, and now you're going to cry? Come on. So I know this sounds like...
And then say you haven't got anyone. It's like, shut up.
Oh my God.
Because he did the right thing. And Izzy was like, they're your family.
I think
they don't even like him either.
Well, that's the thing is I'm like, Izzy was not telling him the truth about all this. Yeah. Izzy was just saying what he needed to say to Ed. He's still protecting him. Yeah. He's still like serving his captain. He's like saying all this stuff so that Ed will feel better while he's fucking dying. Meanwhile, like Steed can get stabbed and shot and plucked and poked and whatever, and he's gonna always live. I know. We're veering into I'm getting upset about these things. Yeah. Anyway. So Izzy dies in Ed's arms. They really continue the bad decisions by burying him on land. Putting all his earthly belongings on his grave marker.
Yeah.
Which is his leg.
All his earthly belongings on his grave so that anyone can steal them in front of this dilapidated little 1-bedroom shack that they're going to turn into an inn.
People are going to walk all over him. People are going to walk all over him to get to the inn.
So where Steed and Ed are apparently going to live now, neither of them know how to do anything handy. And I find it interesting. I mean, I assume, I know that this season got cut down 2 episodes and then they were assuming they'd have a 3rd season. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt here and assume that we got Izzy being buried on land so that we could have a gravy basket situation. He can come back. Yeah. Because if you bury him at sea, that's kind of the end. But as it ended the way it did, it's like, so when Ed and Steed get bored of being innkeepers, are they just gonna leave him there?
It's like a pet. You know how you have a pet when you're a child and you bury them they die, you bury them at the end of the garden. You do here anyway. I don't know if it's like universal. Yeah, it's like, my pet hamster's died. Let's just bury it at the end of the garden and we'll move and it doesn't matter. We're not going to like dig it up.
Right, exactly. I mean, a lot of people here do have their pets cremated and then they keep the ashes. But yeah, I think a lot of people bury pets, and especially if it's a house that like has been around, like is in the family for a while, there's like often a small pet graveyard, but yeah, absolutely. He's been Ed's dog this whole time. So they bury him in the doggy graveyard.
Bury him like a dog.
Yeah, oh man, this episode really devolved into sadness, but that's kind of what happened in season 2, right? Yeah. And what do we think now? Like, did Ed and Izzy's relationship actually get any better? Did it get worse? Is it kind of the same as where we left it? What's going on? What should have been done differently?
I mean, I think they were clearly headed in kind of a toxic direction. Yeah. And like, I don't know if it would inevitably have ended like that, but I think it's clearly something where like it wasn't going to end well.
Right. You would think, and I at least was hoping that Steed coming in, I really thought they were going to give us some kind of a steady hands.
They seemed to be going there for a hot minute.
It really did.
With episode 5 and everything, it was like, I guess we're doing this.
With how Steve's getting a little more competent, Izzy's like training him, and they're kind of buddies
on the ass.
And like with the whole shirtless scene and everything, it really did seem like they were going to go steady hands, which would have been groundbreaking and phenomenal.
Yes, no, that would have been amazing. But here we are.
I mean, I just really hope. I mean, the power of fan fiction, right? But I think that Steed in real life, if that's a thing I can say here, or in a better season where we would have had more episodes or something, Steed could have fixed them a little bit. That's that like the part of Steady Hands is like Ed and Izzy is like the toxic leg of that triangle, but Steed comes in and makes it better. And I really wish that had happened in the show, but as it is, where we've ended it, well, I guess happily ever after for Steed and Ed for now.
Yeah.
If you read David Jenkins' little twit fic thing, it is not happily ever after, which I love because it's not. That's not real. And at the end of it, Izzy's in the gravy basket. So again, that's not canon. That is just a thing he wrote on social media. But I am okay with like that as far as for Izzy. Oh, it's kind of a mess. Just
it's so messy. It's so messy. Yeah.
Nothing really gets wrapped up with Ed and Izzy. They do not, despite Izzy dying in Ed's arms, they don't have like they don't really wrap things up.
There's never any real resolution.
No. And Izzy is spending the entire time he's dying apologizing to Ed and making it sound like it's his fault.
What the fuck? He shot you.
Yeah. And him saying like, oh, this is all my fault. I'm the one that did, like, Blackbeard was me and I didn't know. He's
like Ed's just getting away with that behavior as well.
Yeah.
It's just like,
and again, he's trying to make him feel better so he doesn't harbor this guilt or whatever, because that's like how Izzy works. That's just what he does. Yeah. But that's
I'm not gonna lie, I found it was really disturbing. I found it deeply disturbing in terms of like both the way that they portrayed their relationship in the first 3 episodes, and then that as the conclusion.
Exactly. The first 3 episodes were like great for like narrative with these characters, but they never resolved it.
No. So, and then to take it to that place where you have this character who we've watched very clearly, I don't know, from my perspective, pretty clearly being abused by this person, to have him sort of like doing this whole apology thing, it felt bad. Yeah. It felt bad.
Well, if you listen to the internet, Izzy's the one that was abusive.
I mean, it depends who you ask.
I mean, honestly, they both were abusive in ways.
Yes.
But I think Ed clearly had the upper hand in this relationship and was using it to be abusive. But so here's what. Do you think if we get a season 3 and Izzy comes back, do you think there will be some kind of a resolution for Ed and Izzy that will be satisfactory? Do you think that's impossible? Do you think Steady Hands has a chance?
Let me say, okay, I don't think it's impossible to get to a satisfying resolution, but I don't think we'll get it.
Yes, I feel the same way. It's possible, but I have to be convinced that we can get there.
It would take. They would have to actually do the work and.
And I personally feel like Steady Hands is something that still could happen, supposing they bring Izzy back from the gravy basket, but I don't think they will, just because obviously from what happened at the end of season 2, that's not the direction they want to go. And even Khan is like, no, this story is about Ed and Steed. And I'm like, I get that. But like also Ed and Steed clearly need a third guy with them.
And I think, this is one of the things, because I think one of the things that made the first season so appealing and so engaging was the fact that you did have this beautiful ensemble cast where it felt like everybody really did get a moment to shine. And I feel like that, I think for a variety of production reasons, et cetera, I think that really fell by the wayside in season 2. And I would have liked to have seen, I don't know, it felt like the characters that we loved really got short shrift.
Yes. And I mean, we got the backstories and the childhood stories of 3 characters in the first season, and we didn't get any of that in season 2. I would love to see in season 3 a backstory in Izzy's childhood. And I feel like showing where Izzy and Ed met and how their relationship started and how it progressed would do a lot to explaining why they're like they are. And even if we can't get I do like about this show that it is real in a lot of ways. Like, relationships are not like just perfect happy ending, and they're not gonna be. And I like that. I appreciate that, like, Ed wanted to take it slow and they didn't take it slow. And then he felt bad about that. And whose fault is that? Nobody. Because like he asked it to be taken slow, but then like also that, you know, like he seemed to wanted it at the moment, but then it was like, and that's just fucking shit that happens in life. Like, you know, and I love all that in this show, that it's not a fairy tale. It is very real for being a short comedy show, you know, but
I have to go soon.
Yes, I know you do. I know.
Yes.
And that's what I'm trying to, now we're getting to the end here. All right. Well, I mean, who knows? I know a lot of people in the Kenyan especially don't want a season 3, or they're done with it or whatever. I still want a season 3. I want to see what they do with it. I will always take more Con O'Neill, and he would definitely be in season 3, regardless of what they do with him. It might make me more angry.
Want that too.
Who knows?
Yeah, I would want
don't
that
know.
too.
But I would like to see what they end up doing with it. So I'm hoping they get a season 3, and maybe some stuff can get wrapped up. But as it is for now, Ed and Izzy's story is going to be best continued through fan fiction, which is super because there's so much of it. So Tessa, do you have a fanfic rec for Ed and Izzy?
I was trying to find one, but I didn't because of
of time and life and stuff. Okay, that's
time and life and blood and
blood
and bleeding.
Blood is
time
important.
And bleeding.
I might. What I'll do is later after my appointment, I will go and see what I can find, and then I can send you something. You can put it in the show notes.
Okay, we can do that.
Sounds good. Marvelous.
Charley, do you have a fic rec?
I do. Mine is a very long one. It's like currently at like 220,000 words.
Ooh.
And it's called Heart-Shaped Glasses.
Oh,
and
I don't think I know this one.
It's by Florence After Midnight and Defiled Beautiful Thing. Me and 2 others from the Canyon have been like reading this. Comes out every Friday, and it's a modern universe. It's quite, I suppose, a little bit, you know, it's tag heavy because Ed is underage. Izzy is his stepdad.
Whoa.
Yeah, married. Yeah, like a lavender sort of marriage to Ed's mum. You know, they're having a secret affair.
This sounds so Ed Izzy. Yeah, that's so.
It is so Eddie. It's beautifully written, but it's also like really devastating as well. It's great. It's got like loads of really heavy tags in it though, you know, like really like kink based as well.
Yeah.
So if you're into that, that's great. If you can see past that, if not, it's obviously not going to be for you. But I love reading it because they just write them so well. Ed is such a sassy, sarcastic bitch in it, and Izzy's just a simp that just doesn't know what to do.
I love that. That is just their whole relationship.
So that's mine. Yeah, Heart-Shaped Glasses.
All right. Well, I've got 2 short ones. They're both filth. Most of my Ed Izzy is like the one I read the least of, like the Steady Hands bunch. Well, no, that's not true. I don't read Gentlebeard or anything anymore. But Stizzy is where I tend to go, and then Steady Hands, and then Ed Izzy. But yeah. So, but this one's called The Kind of Thing That You Would Rather Leave Unsaid. It's by Princess of Mind. It's a very short modern era, but like honestly, it's only modern because they say it's modern. Like there's no real context happening here. So you could picture it happening on the ship if you wanted to. Ed slips into bed with Izzy and then just kind of like fucks him, and they both enjoy it. And then at the end, like Ed leaves and they never talk about it again. And this is a thing that happens a lot. And they're both kind of like in this weird relationship that they don't talk about, but they have fun with. And that's, to me, like exactly their relationship. And then the second one is called Putting the Dog in Its Place. And it is by orphan_account. This one is just smut and punishment, and that's kind of all. Izzy has quote unquote stepped out of line, and so Ed needs to punish him he whips him with a belt, and it's lovely. And
is this the one that has art attached?
Does it? No.
There's one like that where there's a link to some very nice art.
No.
Okay, well maybe I'll dig that one up.
Yeah, that sounds good. Wait, part one. I don't know. Yeah. So
I'll dig that one up. I'll dig that. That'll be my rec. There's one with really hot art, and I'll send that your way.
Well, basically, he spanks Izzy with a belt like a lot, and then makes Izzy ride him while he's in pain, and it's very dub-conny, but not, because it's Izzy. So like he wants it, even though he's like in a lot of pain. He's very happy to be doing this, but yeah, it's a punishment, and there is minimal aftercare, which we don't always get with them. So I love Ed in, spanking Izzy, and it's just so good. So those are my two. One is fucking, and one is fucking with spanking beforehand. So I know that Tessa, we can't find you anywhere. And last time we recorded, you said we could find you laying face down on the floor. So sounds like you.
I've upgraded to lying on a couch.
I love that for you, Charley. Do you have anything exciting happening in your life?
Yeah, I'm doing the Izzy Hands bingo thing.
Oh, fun!
Yeah, I'm doing that for the first time. I'm writing and I'm doing art. I haven't done art in about 5 years. I do have an art degree.
I love that.
So I know, Ringa, you've seen a little sneaky peek. I've been working on that. So, but you can just find me at like Radical Hysteria everywhere, and I talk shit all the time.
Yeah, I can't wait to see all the things that are coming out of Izzy Hens Bingo. It's going to be a yummy, yummy time for all of us. And I'm not writing anything really. I'm just thinking about things I want to write. So
that's a starting point.
It is. I just have come out of like 2 straight months of nonstop shows, events, etc. And I'm tired. I am very tired. So next week is Pride in Millvale. And then I'm hopefully going to like take a nap. That's what you can find me doing, is sleeping. So yeah. Well, I'm glad that we got this second episode recorded, and thank you all for being here. And I'm sure we'll probably do another one of EdIzzy at some point and talk about maybe what could make them be a happy couple,
a functioning relationship.
Yes.
But as for now, you can go find us on Our Flag Means Fanfiction, all one word, at all the social places, and go subscribe, give us likes, give us comments. We want to hear why we're amazing. And until next time, I have never learned the sign-off phrase because I don't want to. So it's something like be crime and do cringe and
be gay, do cringe
and harvest organs and
yes, and give them to me. Give me the organs.
Tessa needs some organs. So, all right, thanks everybody, and bye-bye.
Bye.